We are good and rolling for the first podcast of 2020. Welcome back, everybody. We took a little bit of a break there at the end of 2019. I think we took off like the last month and a half there.
Yeah, I think, did we do one for November?
I think November was our last one. I think there was two possibly last November, and then that was our last one. But we're back, we're fresh, we're going. We have our first guest on the show today.
What's up?
Want to introduce Will Ballester, our boxing coach, MMA coach, all-around good guy. Will, why don't you give yourself a little introduction?
What's up, guys? Hi, I'm William Ballester. I'm a local boxing coach, kickboxing coach, MMA coach, CrossFit coach. You're looking to learn how to fight, defend yourself, get in shape, become a better athlete, hit me up. I can help you out.
Yeah. And Will, why don't you talk a little bit about your past, too?
So I started off as a Division I AA football player, went into powerlifting, kind of fell off the scale a little bit, gained about 200 pounds. Where I am right now. Then I decided to start fighting one day. Started doing Muay Thai. Lost 200 pounds. Became a fighter. Still an undefeated MMA fighter locally. Haven't had a fight done in about 5 years. So I think my fighting days might be behind me. But now I teach instead. But I still like to spar with you guys every once in a while.
Yeah.
Get that blood flowing a little bit.
We know the ice packs that we wasted. Yeah, we know. But, no, that's awesome. So you have no experience very much that you're bringing to the table. So,
Yeah, not a lot. Yeah.
So don't expect much from Will here today. Parental discretion advised. We talked about that a little bit before the podcast.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just make sure that, the children listening can cover their ears.
That's what you fucking sign up for.
Oh, my gosh. Anybody who knows me knows I do not like swear words, guys. No swear words allowed.
No fucking swear words in here.
It's swear jar.
We are already starting a little bit more PG than usual because we usually have a drink in our hand. Like, Sean's usually got a bucket of beer over off camera. You usually can't see that.
Sometimes in camera.
Sometimes in camera. Like, it looks like we're advertising. We need to start hashtagging.
Looking for those sponsorships.
Yeah.
Like, Miller, please pay me. Please
We
pay
should
me.
go for a local brewery instead.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
FMB.
Get them on the podcast there.
I don't know. FMB?
Fort Myers Brewery.
Oh, that's what I thought it was like. Oh, that's their. I guess they have Gateway Gold is one of their brands, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. I thought it was like FMB. Fort Myers Beach doesn't have a beer, do they? Like
They might.
But anyways, all right. Let's start getting into it, man. We got the first one. This is kind of like a thrown together card, pretty much. Like there was no plan originally of having a pay per view this month. Like January, they were going to take off. They had a hot and heavy year for year number one being on ESPN. In 2019, it seemed like they were going to take off, and then Conor McGregor finally signed up. And
Yeah, that's the buying power of Conor McGregor.
yeah,
I want a pay-per-view. Boom. Got
Yeah.
it.
Well, it happened because he wanted to be a main event.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Because he was supposed to fight months ago, and he said no.
No, it wasn't. Actually, it was the other way around. Dana White said that because it wasn't, he didn't want a headliner that wasn't a title fight.
Yeah, because there was title fights on the card, and he wanted to be the headliner, and it was a whole drama thing, which I get though, because he's a huge draw.
Yeah, because those guys would have made money off of Conor's name
Yeah, absolutely.
for being the headliner.
Absolutely. And these two were actually signed up to fight last summer. That's what it was. I think it was this one. And then I think Conor even said that he was signed up close to fight
Gaethje?
Gaethje, yes, thank you. So he was supposed to fight him too, and that kind of fell through as well. But I don't know. I really hope that it does well, only because Dana White canceled the last one because he said if it's not a title fight on the line, like I don't want to put that as a
He
headliner.
claims that it has to be a title fight for it to be
Yeah.
a big pay-per-view, but their highest selling pay-per-view was him and Diaz.
Yeah.
So-
The irony of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I mean, like, that's why they made the BMF belt. You know, I mean, as cool as that was, as fun as that is, I mean, they still had to make a belt to...
It was that test run for the non-belt show.
That's probably true, man.
Yeah.
You're probably right on.
They just want to get The Rock involved.
That's true. They probably want The Rock.
Did you guys watch that pay-per-view? They kept saying the BMF belt. I was like, just say it. They couldn't swear because it's
Well, I think they
ESPN.
mentioned that too. Like, how ridiculous is it?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
we
like
can't say this.
You can't say it. It's like, what? This doesn't make sense.
Well, even like
They're
when
on
they're in the
ESPN,
final
that's
face-off, he's like, all right, this is for the baddest MFer or
Yeah,
something.
The BMF.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't even say the name of the belt. But yeah, let's kind of get into it a little bit. There's not really a lot of news and notes to start the year off. We were talking about this a little bit before the podcast. Like, there's very few cards that have been fully vetted out. And
they loaded up the end of the year so much.
Yeah, they loaded up the whole year. Like, all last year was insane. It was a fantastic year. But they really don't have anything right now. I think the biggest thing that you were talking about was Yoel and
Adesanya. They agreed to fight.
Yeah,
there's no date.
Right.
No official announcement.
Yeah, and that's because Costa had surgery again, right?
Yeah. I don't remember for what.
Yeah, well, because he's huge.
That'd be a fun fight, though.
Yoel and Adesanya.
Yeah, because he'll come at him, and then let's the lost Airwalker, or the style bender there, work his magic on someone aggressive. So it should look good. Like, visually, it should be a good-looking fight.
Oh, hell yeah, that will be. You got, like, a tank on one side fighting the style bender on the other.
Technique versus power.
Yeah,
that's going to be
matchup. That's going to be pretty damn fun. The only things that didn't happen a little bit earlier, when Yoel was a little bit younger, but he seems to defy age somehow.
Oh, yeah.
That guy's insane.
Genetics.
Cuban genetics.
Genetic plus horse meat. He's on that Overeem plan.
Dude, he was that Canelo Alvarez meal plan.
That's awesome.
Wrestlers are just on another level, though. Like, athletically, you got guys that wrestle their whole lives. They just always seem to be in, like, next level strength. They have that next level strength. They have man strength from their kids.
Well, they put so much work in. Yeah. It's not just whatever else it is. It's still hard work. Mm-hmm. They put in hours and hours every day. Wrestlers just have that mentality.
Yeah. I mean, it's raw strength because you're picking people up, putting them back.
It's a gritty sport, too.
Yeah.
When you grapple someone, you can grapple someone who's super strong in the weight room and they're weak when you grapple them. Mm-hmm. And you grapple some guy who, like, cut grass every day and he's, like, tearing you up. Mm-hmm. And some people have, like, that natural strength. And most good wrestlers have that natural strength. So
yeah, it's ridiculous. But so that's it pretty much for, I think, anything that's coming up right now. So nothing crazy, nothing special. But we do have a fun card today, or at least next week, I should say. We have a loaded weekend this weekend with football going on. Niners are playing right now, right? That's the game that's going on right now.
Halftime.
So, I mean, it's a good time to be a sports fan between you got football and college football national championship on Monday. Can't wait to watch that one. Go Clemson. And are you cheering for Clemson?
I'm cheering for LSU.
You're cheering for LSU?
Yeah. Want some new blood in there.
Yeah.
We're ACC
SEC, I'm like, with the SEC. But that's a whole other discussion. So let's kind of get into it. There's really not much on the undercard. I think that there was like, let me pull up the undercard real quick. I had it here. There definitely wasn't much on the early prelims other than, let me see who it was. No, it must have just been both on the prelims. Yeah, so Sadiq Yusuf is fighting on the prelims. He's pretty exciting. We actually reviewed him for one of our podcasts last year. He's like your prototypical wrestler, like really strong wrestling.
He's got
that monster.
Yeah, he actually looks like Yoel, like a mini Yoel.
Yeah, he does. So he's really exciting. He'll be fun to watch. And then, I mean, really the only other like notable mention, I mean, he's fighting Andre Fili. That's probably
they're high on Macy Barber.
Yeah, you got Macy Barber fighting as well for the headline.
She's trying to be the youngest champ in UFC history.
Yeah, so
she's only 20, I think, or something.
Yeah, really.
She came off of the Contender Series.
Really, I gotta check that show out. It sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sean, why don't you talk about the Contender Series real quick? Because I don't think there's a lot of people.
Yeah, because we were talking about like nobody watches The Ultimate Fighter anymore, so they created like this live event. They had it like once a week, and they go for like 2 or 3 months straight, where they bring 10 fighters in, and they have 5 fights, and they can get a contract right there on the spot. Like at the end. Then they can say, all right, we're signing all 5 winners. It's live. They have, like, their families are there in the Tough Gym. It's pretty raw, man. Like, they have a lot of finishes, a lot of dog fights.
Because the thing about, like, amateur and local fights is you have a lot of disparity. Like, you could probably attest to this, is there's so much disparity in level of talent that can go into the cage at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Usually it's someone getting fed fighters. Usually someone really good going against someone really bad to pad their record to make it look good. Mm-hmm. And they don't usually tell the guy who's really bad that the guy that fighting's really good until they get in there. And then it's like, what a mismatch.
Yeah.
Because they're looking to make money. Because people don't want to see 2 fighters kind of stall out. They want to see someone get knocked out or choked out or hurt or something like that. So
And these gyms are trying to build up their own guys, too. That's the other thing. They want a guy.
The thing about this show, too, is like the stakes are always high for a fight. But now they're even higher. Like knowing like if you put on a performance, you're in the UFC.
I like that because that's why I used to like the Ultimate Fighter because it was like these guys are fighting for a spot in the UFC because not all of them would make it.
Yeah,
and then it kind of faded away from that more about like the MTV style TV show drama.
Yeah, because they started just getting like veterans and personalities.
That's just people acting up in the house.
This is like the new, like they're always looking for the new wave of talent. They're looking for the young people.
We want to see good fights. That's what we want to see.
Here's a good question though: is should the UFC introduce essentially like a D League?
I think they kind of use Bellator for that.
Yeah, but if they're signing guys right out, because typically what you see on the Contender Series are guys that have less than 5 fights, guys and gals with less than 5 fights.
Yeah, but
they
just throw them to the dogs when they come in.
But that's what I'm saying is, should they though? Like, should they make it developmentally?
I don't think they need to. I think they have so many cards right now that they could do a D League within the UFC. Just have like a lower tier.
They just need to
fight versus other lower tier fighters.
They just need not to rush these people.
Yeah,
they rush them too much is the problem.
Yeah, but I mean that's why I think maybe if they had they had like their own what they would call like maybe a lower ranking system or like a different ranking system for like what they would call a D League, right? Like they don't have to. It doesn't have to be separate, but maybe there's like a different ranking system for guys that are on the up and up. They're coming up on their maybe 5th or 6th fight. They shouldn't be fighting like the Donald Cerrones and stuff in the league. And I say
you remember Jalen Turner came in and fought Vicente Luque in his first fight.
That's what I'm saying. That's why would you get matched? Yeah, that's a crazy.
I don't think they want that though, because remember they had WEC for the longest time, and that was kind of the UFC's D League.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but it was, and they just closed it down.
Yeah.
So,
well, because I think the problem with that is that was technically a separate or a different organization, so they still had to rely on the funds that organization can bring in, as opposed to like if you get these guys on the UFC, maybe you just make the early prelims strictly like what we would call D League fighters. And then
that's a good idea.
Like that,
the prelim should be D League fighters, the new guys, because fresh blood.
Yeah, I think they already have that like that platform set. Like all these free fights on ESPN, like you can just have all these new talents coming in.
We have a couple of veteran fights in there too to pull people in.
Yeah, to pull them in like the main events.
Yeah.
That was your idea.
But the problem is they just throw them right up.
Yeah, that's the crazy part though.
Sink or swim.
Yeah, it really is. It's like, you went 2-0 against bottom 15 competition in your division. Now you're going to get a top 10 guys.
Well, you mentioned Cowboy. Like he fought that kid Alexander Hernandez. That kid was in his 3rd fight in the UFC, and he was only like 24 or something.
Is he still in the UFC? That kid?
He's still, but he hasn't looked the same. Like he came in on fire. He got knocked out by Cerrone.
Fighting's a lot about ego and confidence. Yeah, and you lose that confidence.
He talked a lot of shit going to that.
Well, everybody's invincible until you get knocked out.
Yeah,
and then you're no longer invincible, so it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I always thought like you almost have to have that swagger, like somebody like Anderson Silva, Conor McGregor, like you have to have that next level swagger.
But, like, how do you think these boxers feel? Like they just annihilate like 300 guys in the amateur circuit.
Yeah,
and like they probably come into the pros and like chest puffed out.
They feed them in the pros too. Boxing's really feeds up. Like you don't even get a good fight till you're like 10-0.
Yeah.
And
even those guys,
it depends on who your promoter is, which is the same for MMA. Kind of now, but not as bad as boxing is.
I noticed with boxing, it seems like 20 is the lucky number. Like they seem to feed the guys that they know are going to have star potential up to that 20 range, and then because you get a lot of guys that seem to be 20-0 or 20-1 or something like that. And I'm like, where the fuck do they find all these guys?
I think that's at the point where they're like, all right, this is probably like your prime. So like, now you got to make your money.
There's fights that happen in boxing where the person having the fight pays their opponent because they pick someone up who's off the street, whatever it is, like 2-10, 4-20, and you're fighting this guy. You pay him to fight you, so it comes out of your pocket just to go on that show. So that's why you need to have a promoter to cover those kinds of fights because if you're a fighter, you don't have money. No. Most fighters don't have money. That's why they're fighting. So, but that's how they build them up in boxing. So I'm sure it happens in MMA too.
Yeah. And you'll probably see that more and more as MMA is still growing. I was thinking about this, not too long ago. We probably have our first generation coming up soon that have grown up with MMA as it being popular. You know what I mean? It was when I started watching the UFC. It was still very.
It was like a bunch of white dudes fighting in a bar. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
So the guys you saw.
Well, because I remember one of the first fights I saw, it was GSP. It was in high school. I think I was in 11th grade or something. I saw GSP tearing up John Fitch. He was absolutely tearing him up. I'm like, holy crap, they let people do this for real? Like, John Fitch was bleeding all over the cage. It was crazy. But, GSP was a crazy athlete. He was a guy that was maybe ahead of his time.
Definitely ahead of his time.
Way ahead of his time.
Yeah, because he mixed it up so well. He's a guy that Canada actually thought about having him go to the Olympics for wrestling, and he never even wrestled in high school.
Yeah, he trained with professional wrestlers. Like, he trained with, like, the top-level wrestlers and did well with them, too.
Yeah.
So he was just a freak athlete.
Absolutely. So, all right, but I think I tailed off a little bit on this. Sean, do you want to intro the first fight on this main card?
You know, whenever they have a big card, they like to kick it off with a banger. Anthony Pettis versus Diego Vieira. It's two veterans kind of like at a crossroads. They're just looking to have a good fight to pull you in right off the main card.
Yeah, before we kind of get into it, I like to always throw some stats out. I'm a numbers guy, so not really much of a height difference. Diego's 5'9" to Anthony Pettis is 5'10", but Vieira has a 2-inch reach advantage, 74-inch reach to Pettis is 72.
They would like that average fight time from both.
Yeah,
not a lot of decisions.
Yeah, not a lot of decisions. We'll kind of get into that here in a minute as well about kind of Vieira's abilities or what he does in the cage as well. Strikes landed per minute. This one's a big one here. Actually, this is very surprising. Anthony Pettis is just under 3 at 2.97.
Well, he's never been a big output guy.
Yeah, he just had. Yeah, he has.
He's I'm still surprised.
That's still
isn't the other guy more of a grappler than he is a striker?
Yeah,
right.
Is.
Yeah.
Striking accuracy, this is where we see the difference, though. So even though Pettis is maybe a little bit lower on that average number landed per minute, his striking accuracy is at 46 compared to Diego's at 36%. But he takes the strikes absorbed per minute is almost identical at around 3 per minute as well. Defense is really well. Grappling, takedown, these guys are at like half a takedown average per 15 minutes. Takedown accuracy for actually Pettis, which is funny because Vieira is probably he has like a jiu-jitsu background, but Pettis is actually
jiu-jitsu is no joke though.
What's that?
He has like
he does. Takedown defense, Vieira has the advantage here at 70% to 58% from Pettis, and submission average per 15 minutes is going to be advantage for Pettis at 1.2 to Vieira's 0.9. So let me go ahead and get this boxing bell up here and running, and then we can start talking about it, because usually our format, for those that might just be tuning in, let's see, where is it? Is basically we do 2 minutes per most of the fights. We get up to 3 for the co-main event, and then we do 5 to 10 for the main event. So let us throw this number up here, because I was not very well prepared. 0 seconds. Number around 12. Where's the timer around? 60 seconds. All right, there we go. Maybe not. There we go. And I, of course, started getting crap on here, too.
You're really folding under pressure.
Let's take this time to thank our sponsors, Lionheart Fitness and Nutrition, owner William Ballester.
I was going to say, like, we have sponsors.
Who got sponsors in here?
Call today to learn how to fight, guys.
All right, let's start talking. We're in. We got 2 minutes. Go. What are your guys' thoughts on this one?
Well, I think this is a fight for them to get Pettis back on the winning streak.
Yeah.
Because he's done a lot. He's been a company man the last couple of years. He's taken on some big fights for them on short notice, or filled in some main events on ESPN cards. I think this is like kind of like a, not necessarily a gimme fight, but a fight that he should win.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because Vieira just came off of beating a really good lightweight that they probably...
But he wasn't proven.
He wasn't, but I mean, look,
the UFC got the 4 most recent fights. Look at the difference in those fighters.
In the competition, yeah, but he's still on a win streak. So, you know what I mean? He is the hot fighter at the moment. But I'm still going for Pettis. Because I feel like it is a gimme fight.
But also the thing about Diego is he's like 36 or something.
Yeah, but body mile-wise, who has more miles in their body? I would say Pettis does. For sure. All the injuries and...
What injuries did Diego have? Because he was out for like 2 years or something with injuries.
Yeah, honestly, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think you're right, though. He did have some time where he was out for a while. But I don't know. For me, my phone's making all kinds of noises over here. All right, I'm not doing Candy Crush. I'm playing Candy Crush during the middle of the podcast. I think that this is going to be a testing ground for them. They need guys always at lightweight. They need top contenders here. So, because personally, I think that Diego's on a good streak right now. I mean, he's also he has a win against Gunnar Nelson as well, too.
You win 5 fights in lightweight.
Yeah.
I don't care who you're really fighting. That's impressive.
Exactly. So he's close to breaking that top threshold of the lightweight division. They always need contenders to fight too.
There's just a lot of competition in that division.
Yeah.
The lighter weight classes just have more people who are more athletic and it's more competition.
Yeah.
So it's still impressive. 5 wins in a row.
Absolutely.
Still good.
So how do you see this going?
I see Pettis second round knockout.
Yeah, just
TKO.
watching Diego's pressure and kind of swings wild. I think this sets up for Pettis to finish him.
Caught.
Yeah, I think the numbers actually there was a good example too. Like maybe Pettis doesn't throw as many, but he's so creative with the striking and he lands. His accuracy is much higher.
He's always ready for a dogfight too, even though he's sustained a lot of injuries.
He's tough.
Yeah.
He's tough. He doesn't give up.
He comes from a Muay Thai background.
Still fights.
Yeah.
Like when he fought Ferguson. I mean, he broke his arm and. He was still going through that. I think he broke his arm, right?
I think
he broke his foot versus Diaz round 1 and kept going with that too.
Yeah, I mean, he's
his coach is the one who stopped the Ferguson fight too. He didn't.
Oh yeah, he was going to keep going. I know that was crazy. So I'm kind of with you guys on this one. I see Pettis.
I think this was just a matchup. It was a fun matchup that they can get on short notice.
Yeah,
for the pay per view. I think that's what they.
And I think you mentioned it too. Like, I mean, what is Fiera going to throw Pettis on the ground that he hasn't seen before? As experienced as he is as well. So,
it'll be a fun one. And like I said, Pettis is a big name to help carry the opening fight.
Oh, absolutely. And let's see. Vegas they have Fiera as the favorite, as a pretty
probably
big
because
favorite.
he's on the win streak.
Yeah, he said minus 250 to Pettis' plus 150.
And Pettis has taken a lot of damage.
Now,
even in those last 5 fights, he took a lot.
On those battle lines, they're not always based off of who's going to win. They're based off of how the bets come in.
Yeah.
So
there's probably a lot of people
true.
looking at that win streak, like, oh, this guy's on the rise.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a fun one. I think to your point though, like this is just a fun one to kick it off. I think that you made this point earlier too, was that they kind of had to throw this card together, like because it's not a very it's not a star-studded card.
Because we always talk about like there's always matchups that they're looking to like go further, like they're looking for the future. I don't think there's a lot of matchups on this card that they're looking toward the future.
No, absolutely not. But this one, regardless, it's going to be a fun fight. I think all three of us have Pettis winning this one.
Yeah.
I think he just overall has more creative strike, and we'll see what comes out on that one.
We should come back and see who was right, who has the best streak.
We definitely
predictions.
We're definitely are. I'm keeping track of this, so don't worry. Actually, what's crazy? We started doing that last year, and because I intended to do that, but we were playing against Vegas. We were going to see like how well we were betting against Vegas, and I think like 6 months in, I lost my book that had literally all of our stuff. So I'm gonna have to find a better method to keep track of that for this year. All right, Sean, you want to bring us into the second fight on the card?
Yeah. Claudia Gadelha is back. I don't know when's the last time she even fought, but she's taking on Alexa Grasso. This is the classic striker versus grappler.
Absolutely. And I really like Grasso. Just looking back at Claudia's fight. Yeah, I don't even remember. I think her last fight that I remember watching was Ansaroff, which was 2 fights ago for her now after she steps in the ring with Grasso. But let me just run down some of the numbers real quick. So Alexa Grasso is 11-3 to Claudia's 17-4. They're almost the same height, 5'4", 5'5". Alexa has the advantage there. Reach advantage goes to Alexa with a 3-inch reach advantage at 66 inches. I think that's going to be huge, and I'll kind of get into that in a little bit. They're both orthodox fighters. Landed per minute, there's a pretty big difference here, considering that their striking accuracy is both around the same.
That's pretty huge, actually, if you look at it that way. Numbers wise, that's big.
Especially, when you consider how close their striking is. So, strikes landed per minute goes to Alexa at 5.25 to Claudia's 3.17. Now, the thing is that makes a difference to the last fight is the striking accuracy is almost dead on the same, whereas in the last one we saw Pettis' was much higher. So, he landed less, but his accuracy
but the thing here is the defense is higher over here. Not by much, though.
Well, the thing about Claudia is she's taking more than she's given.
No.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
You don't see that a lot at a higher level.
Grappling, takedown average per minute. Obviously, Claudia's got the advantage here at 3.3 per 15 minutes to Alexa's almost none.
Yeah. Sorry, to go back to Claudia's strikes absorbed, that's probably like inflated from her fights with Joanna.
You're probably right. Too.
Because Joanna, rips off like 9-punch combos.
Yeah, she went 5 rounds with her.
Twice,
right?
Yeah. Or no, 3 rounds the first time, because the first time wasn't tight.
That's a good point. I'm sure it is high.
Yeah, because Joanna landed like I think she landed like 200 strikes in there.
Oh my god.
Dude, she was just ripping combos.
So this lady's tough then.
Yeah.
That's
she's definitely tough. But the thing about Joanna too is like she's not a knockout artist either.
Still, her pressure.
Her pressure definitely. But yeah, I think that's the most notable statistics here. So let's kind of get into the fight. What are you guys' initial thoughts about these ladies?
I don't really know because Claudia is known to gas out, and she's a wrestler. And this Alexa Grasso chick, she's tough.
Yeah, we really like. I know you and I really like her. She's great. She has great stand up.
Yeah, she comes from a boxing background. I think she's Mexican, right?
Yeah, she is.
So she's got that dog in her. So.
Yeah, Alexa Grasso's. I love her. She mixes up her kicks really well. She stands very straight up. She's almost like a traditional Thai fighter in a way because she comes in straight up. She doesn't have a lot of head movement, but she mixes in her leg kicks really well, and she has some pretty solid leg kicks, especially for at 115 for the ladies.
She's who I'm into too. I just like the striking from what I've seen from her. She just looks crisp, looks sharp.
Yeah. And I mean,
she's aggressive. Like I just like aggressive fighters.
And I mean, the thing is, I don't think Claudia is going to throw anything necessarily, at least in the wrestling game, that Esparza hasn't.
Well, I was going to say because we felt like she beat Esparza. And this Claudia is going to be like a little bit better version of Esparza, but she's going to gas.
Yeah, and I think Esparza just won that by the judges just being like, "Oh, she got more takedowns."
Yeah, just the classic.
All depends on who the judge is.
Yeah,
it's like some judges. When we do the sparring on Fridays and we do the count drill. It's hard to keep track of what hits a hit because they look like it's a hit.
Most of the time we're asking.
Yeah, like, did that hit you? And we're like, no. It's like, oh, it looked like it did. So it's hard to see it.
Yeah.
So imagine being the judge of all these people screaming all over the place.
The judging is a whole other controversy there, man. Those guys don't even usually have MMA backgrounds. Those guys, but I mean, even on this one, I just don't.
You should be judges.
Really.
Your bucket of beer.
Get a bucket of beer. That was a hit.
I'd be an internet sensation.
Boy, as a
just sitting ringside with a bucket of beer. Judging fights.
He'll be cheat sheeting off of the us two. Like, hey, why don't you have that one scored? Okay, copy that one. Change it up a little bit.
10-8 round, huh? That's insane. All right, I'm willing to do that.
I fell asleep during that last round we had.
Are we doing 11-7s? No, just 10-8? Okay, all right, that's cool. That would actually be pretty funny. I would love to see that. Just start on the local circuit. Just start judging. That'd be pretty funny. It doesn't take much. I actually looked that up. It doesn't take much.
I think it's like a certificate, right? You just get like a...
Yeah, I probably shouldn't be telling that to just average people. Like, oh, I can go make money doing that on the weekends.
No, problem is the promoter usually has his own judges. So, like you said, the gyms usually host an event. And then the gym has their judges there, so that's why it's tough to go into an event of a different gym.
Yeah,
because the judges are on the gym side. So you better make sure you win that fight by knockout or finish. If it goes to the decision, it's like you lost. It's like what? It's never happened to me, but I've seen it. People losing fights they won.
To him,
my second amateur fight, I fought. It was this local gym called Pitt's Pen. The guy I always promoted around here, but
Mark.
Yeah,
I know Mark. I've had some fights with Mark. I know how he operates.
I exchanged some words with him and his fighters as well, but I was fighting one of his guys in my second amateur fight, and the crowd thought I was on my side for the win. I knew it was bad, actually, because after the fight came over, I mean, I was fine. Like, we went 3 rounds, we finished it, we went to our corners, and the doctor came up and said, hey, that was a great fight, don't think about the decision. I'm like, why is he already telling me that? Like, he's like looking at me, he's checking me out. I'm fine. Like, I think I might have had a few bruises.
Right.
But I need the other guy in the face. He never went and checked him. And I'm like, what the heck's going on here? He's like, don't worry about the decision yet. That was a great fight. I'm like, what the hell did he mean that? They didn't even bring us to the middle of the cage and they announced the other guy as the winner. But I remember
the place booed.
What's that?
Oh, yeah. Up in the Immokalee?
Booed, yeah. Which I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, the whole place, it was crazy. But I came to find out that 2 of the 3 judges, so one judge gave me the fight, and I found out 2 of the 3 judges were from
Pitt's Pen.
Yeah, from Pitt's Pen. So, but I think they can only really do that. So like the reason they were able to do that was because it was at the casino, so it's not technically within.
It's not technically a sanctioned state fight.
Exactly.
But it is. It is, but it isn't. So I've had 2 or 3 fights at the casino. I think it was 3. I forget because one of them didn't happen. Like the guy showed up and then left, but it was because they allow you to ground and pound there, and you can.
Yes,
that's the difference there. Yeah, as an amateur.
Yeah, which they don't let you do that. I think I heard that like years ago, like before I got had my last fight. They said that I guess you had to have like they made a new rule. You had to have 3 to 5 fights, and then they can ask both fighters if they want to agree on having the ground and pound. But before that, yeah, you couldn't do that. But you could do that out there because it wasn't sanctioned.
Right.
But usually, if it's sanctioned by the state, the state has to bring in judges.
Yeah, special state, and you can actually protest it too if it's really corrupt like that as well.
Yeah.
My first fight, same thing happened. There was a local fight up at the Lee Civic Center, and they told me the guy was 1-0. I'm 0-0, and the guy was 4-0, and he was the promoter's gym striking coach. The judges are his judges from his gym. The referee's his referee. And I came out flat the first half of the round. Took a bit of a beating, but then came back and won the fight. Mm-hmm. But the guy was out, and I'm like pounding on him, but they're not stopping the fight. I'm like, this guy's not moving, and it's like, what's going on here? Because it's his judge. But luckily they didn't take the fight from me. They couldn't, because it was just too lopsided in my favor to call that. But if it was close, I would have lost that for sure.
Yeah. So, would you box? Or I mean, would you judge or ref any MMA fights?
Oh, for sure. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Honestly,
you can actually sign up for the boxing commission in the state of Florida. It's actually not too hard. I was looking at it. No, it's not. I thought that would be pretty fun to do that.
That's all these certifications people say they have. They're really not that hard to get people. It's just sign up and pay. Really you got a credit card. You're certified.
Like, read the rule book.
Yeah.
Once, just skim through it.
Yeah, it's paraphrase. It's cool.
Just in the middle of the fight. Wait, they're not allowed to do that?
Googling it mid-fight on your phone. Can they knee in the face? Oh, no. Damn. Disqualify him.
Sean's going to have a bucket of beer with beer in one hand. He's going to have the rule book in the other in the middle of a fight.
Hey, whoa, no soccer kicks. No soccer. Wait. No soccer kicks. That's what I thought.
What do you think? This is Japan? No, we can't do that.
We have an instant replay? No? Fuck. I gotta actually watch this?
You over there film it with your phone.
Slow-mo?
Yeah. Oh, wow, that was pretty good, guys.
Mr. Devaney, can you give us your score
right now? That was in fact an eye poke.
I'm watching it back real quick. I have to rewatch the round. That'd be pretty funny. But, man, we really tailed off there. What were we talking? Okay, yeah. This fight, striker, grappler.
You know why we tailed off? Because the card has been put together just to have McGregor at the end. That's why we're tailing off.
Apparently. Yeah, that's true. All right, so let's kind of wind down on this one. Who do you got? Who's going to win?
I got Grasso.
You got Grasso. I got Grasso.
I got Grasso, too.
Perfect. I love it, too. I think we're a little biased here because we're all strikers first.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but hey, it is what it is.
Every fight starts standing.
Yeah, right. And she also had some good takedown defense against Esparza too, from what I remember. But
I think it'll be a slow start for her, but I think she'll finish strong.
She comes out. She has a quick pace too, man. She came out pretty fast against Esparza.
Yeah, but Claudia, she's really strong, so she's going to come out on fire. She's going to take her down.
That's true. Hopefully she'll use her range, man. That's the toughest part of striking. I think is just being able to bounce in and out of that range. If between being at distance. Whether you're in the short range and then you have that middle range where someone can still shoot in and kick you, and then that long range.
That's where being a grappler or submission guy or girl is handy, though, because you don't have to worry about being too close because you don't care if they take you down. Because you're like, all right, you want to go down anyway. So you can have the best of both worlds if you train that way.
Yeah.
Most people don't. They go all in one or the other way. And
yeah, they're a specialist.
Yeah.
Yeah. To some degree, I think you almost have to be a specialist. At least a relatively good specialist.
Well, yeah, you see all like the superstars are somewhat
of a specialist, yeah.
Because guys and girls usually tail off in their fight career. They tend to go on bad stretches when they're focusing too much on their weakness. Shit. Yeah,
But that's new though, because if you look back in the day, GSP was huge because he had everything. Mm-hmm. Like he was one of the first people to have everything, so everyone tried to be GSP. Now it's going back to the way it was before GSP, where someone's like a killer striker, killer grappler. Kill a kickboxer, like it's more specialist now than it was.
I think you're getting a lot of these people coming over from other pro sports too, like making like Wonder Boy and
better quality athletes.
Or you got like Damian Maia, like who's a world class jiu-jitsu guy.
Literally can beat anybody on the ground.
Yeah,
but strikes with everybody.
He's amazing. Yeah, he can still strike with everybody. His striking's come along in the years. I mean, he's had so many fights. And especially in the divisions he's fought in, you have to be at least a decent striker.
Yeah, to survive that long. He's still fighting, right? He's still in the UFC.
Yeah.
Actually, I think he signed to fight somebody.
He just fought Masvidal not too long ago. When he beat Masvidal not too long ago. I mean, maybe like 2 years ago. Or something.
He had a fight recently that I'm pretty
sure he just beat Van Askren.
Oh, he beat. Oh, yeah, he did. Right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's right.
He retired. I was gonna say choked Askren right out of the.
Askren's retired.
Yep.
He was fun to listen to.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
But I think it was good for him. He was a one-trick pony. I think the odds on this one, the odds were super close. Vegas actually has this one for Grasso, too. I think it was minus 120 to Claudia's minus 110. So, I mean, this is razor close decision here. It's basically nobody can...
Probably a toss-up.
Yeah, it pretty much is. That's what Vegas is saying on the odds.
There's probably nobody really betting on that.
No, I doubt it. Because that would be... I do say that is a tough one. Alexa's been up and down, but I think she was kind of thrown to the wolves a little bit early as well, as like we talked about earlier. But anyways, all right, let's get into a fun potential slobber knocker here. Sean, you want to intro?
Yeah, the Russian Alevsky, the boa constrictor. What's the freaking submission that he's known for? The Ezekiel choke?
Yeah, the Ezekiel choke.
Yeah, that's what he's known for, going up against Maurice Green. What is this, like his third fight in the UFC?
This is a perfect example of what we were talking about. Oleanik, he's had like 70 fights. He's been fighting since 1997.
He's fought everybody.
And Maurice Green, this is like his second or third UFC fight. He came from oh my God, what's the fight show?
Contender Series?
Yeah, the Contender Series. He came from the Contender Series. He's only 8-4. This is like his third fight in the UFC. He just got knocked out. Hey, here's a guy that's had 70 pro fights.
Right. Single swim.
Heavyweight. That's what it is. But it kind of blows me away at heavyweight because it's not like they have a crap load of contenders. It's such a thin division. Like, I can't believe that they'd be throwing away a young guy like
We always talk about this. It's like if you're a lighter fighter, you have to be exceptional to really make it because there's so many more people in that weight class. And if you're a bigger fighter, you don't have to be you still have to be good, but there's just a lot less competition.
That's because,
and you see that in the UFC. There's just not as many heavyweights as there are lightweights.
Because all the guys that are like Maurice Green's 6'7". Any other 6'7" guy in the country that's relatively athletic is playing in the NFL. They're playing in the NBA.
Yeah, we had this conversation yesterday.
Yeah, which means like, why is he not doing those things? He can't be that athletic.
He actually looked not too bad for 6'7".
Yeah,
like he actually looks somewhat athletic.
I think 6'7's kind of too tall for heavyweight. I don't think you can put the mass you really need to have on there to go against someone who's like 6'1" to 6'3", who's just solid. You know, like remember Lesnar? Lesnar's like what, 6'3", 6'4"?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he's the best example, but he's a packed heavyweight frame wise.
If you're going to be that tall, you need to be like NFL level athlete.
But then you have, remember Sylvia back in the day?
Yeah.
Like he was what, 6'9", and he did pretty well with long strikes.
Yeah, but he
power.
He faded pretty quick.
Yeah, he did.
Super quick.
I mean, he lost to Randy Couture.
Yeah.
Maurice Green, actually, funny enough that you said that. He was a guy, I just was reading about this before. He was like 400 pounds or so. He was huge. He actually got into MMA to take weight off. He just got into it to get in shape.
I didn't know that. I like that guy more now.
You know what? I think I've heard about this guy now because I remember that story.
Yeah, he lost a ton of weight. Well, him and
Roundtree.
Yeah,
maybe I'm thinking Roundtree.
Yeah, Roundtree was, because he talked about that on Rogan's podcast. I mean, he smoked, he drank all the time. Now he looks like a freaking action figure. Roundtree does.
Super athlete too.
Maurice Green, you can tell he held some weight before. He has a little bit of bag. You've seen him, but I mean, he seems like he's at least decently in shape for a 6'7" guy, I think. So here, I'll run through the stats real quick. Not long average fight time. These guys barely get out of the first round.
Heavyweight, baby.
Yeah, just over 5 minutes for both these guys. Oleanik's only 6'2" to Maurice Green, 6'7". Maurice Green, actually, he comes in at 258, so
he's got room to grow.
Yeah, he doesn't even come in at the heavyweight limit at 265. So
it's like Stephen Shrew back in the day. That guy was what, 7 feet?
Oh my God, yeah,
245, 250.
Don't even get me started. That guy always pissed me off. Like, he's tough as nails, that kid. But when you're 7 foot tall, you don't need to be going to the ground for jiu-jitsu. He was a jiu-jitsu guy through and through, and he loved getting on his back. And I'm like, why?
When you get pounded out over and over.
Could not use his reach.
This is always the funny thing. I love this. Sean and I always talk about this. I love seeing this. So there's a 5-inch difference in height here, but they have the same reach. That means Oleanik's got long arms, man.
See, they were talking. I was watching a thing about this yesterday about that. So they have the same reach. You got to think the 6'7" guy is going to be wider, so he has more backspace because your reach counts from your shoulder blades, your arms to arms. So he has way shorter arms because there's less actual arm. If that makes sense, because there's more body, less arms. So this Russian dude's probably got some seriously long arms here, 80 inches here.
He's pretty solid build up top. Like, he's got some pretty wide shoulders. He's like pretty stocky dude. So, I mean, maybe to your point, maybe that adds for his
But the taller guy's punching down, which adds power to those shots.
Absolutely. Strikes landed per minute. This is exactly what you want to see from heavyweights. Oleanik's at 3.5 to Green's 5.38.
striking accuracy is actually pretty good for both these guys. Green's at 44, Oleinik's at 51. Strikes absorbed per minute's at 3 for Oleinik and almost 4.5 for Green. Defense is at about 50% for both of them. Grappling, obviously, Oleinik's got the takedown advantage. Takedown average per 15 minutes is 2.69. Accuracy is 39%. Defense is 20%. So, pretty much here.
I doubt Oleinik's defending many takedowns.
No, I doubt it too. Maurice Green, actually, he has some pretty good takedown defense. I mean, decent for heavyweight at 66%.
Oh, he's new though too.
Yeah,
so good that he probably just lets people take him down.
Yeah, so kind of let's kind of get into it at least for the fight now itself.
Look at his submission average is 2 per 15 minutes.
That's what? How is that even possible? Submission.
He probably has so many early submissions.
Oh, that's right. Because if their average fight time is only 1 round. And then you're putting in all of his fights. Mm-hmm. He's getting he's getting multiple early submissions, like first, second round. Yeah, exactly. That's how it is. I was like, how the hell can you get 2 submissions in a fight?
Judge doesn't see the first half.
What do you think? What do you see from this one?
From what we watched, it didn't look like Maurice dealt with pressure very well. And Oleinik seems like a chin down. He's going to come forward, just kind of throw ugly shots, but he's going to throw them. I mean, he charged at Overeem.
Yeah, he did.
I don't think that
he actually hit Overeem a few times.
I don't think he'll be scared to charge this kid.
No.
Yeah, but if he hit Overeem and couldn't knock out Overeem, because Overeem doesn't have the best chin right now, is he going to knock out this Green guy, a younger, fresher version of a fighter? My money's on Green for this one.
Yeah.
So if it stays standing, definitely Green. If it goes to the ground, it's the opposite. But I'm going with Green. I don't think it's going to the ground.
I actually see this going. I'm willing to almost bet money on this.
We got a wager here. Show wager.
Oleinik's going to put Maurice Green on the ground with an overhand right, and then he's going to tap him out. That's
what round? First round?
Second round.
Second round? Uh-oh. How you feel about it, Sean?
I think Oleinik's going to knock him out.
You think he's just going to knock him out?
If he takes the approach that he did against Overeem, kind of push him up against the fence, he's going to use body shots, those little short uppercuts.
Because Green was fighting Pavlovich last. That was the one that we saw from him. It was like the only one we could find.
We don't know how hard Pavlovich hits.
No, we don't. But I mean, he staggered. Pavlovich staggered Green with just a jab. I mean, just a straight, solid jab.
He didn't even come into it either. He was just kind of stagnant and took a jab, and he got wobbled.
Well, I'll be the opposite here. I'll go with Green for this one.
Going with the striker.
Going with the striker.
Well, at least we finally disagree with somebody.
Yeah, we had to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah. I like that you fall on your sword, too. You're like, nah, he's going to win. He's gonna knock him out. He's going to look over top of him. He's like, look at you, short man.
Fuck you and your long arms.
Dude, 70 fights, man. Could you imagine having 70 fights?
Well, that was the average for a lot of MMA fights back in the day. Like Mark Hunt, he had a ton. Wanderlei Silva had a ton.
Who was guys had Jeremy Horn or somebody? One of those.
He had like 90. Crazy. That was like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
and he had 90 back then.
Must be fighting like every month.
The thing that's different with a guy like Mark Hunt though is he did a lot in K1, so he had a lot of kickboxing too.
Right.
So
this dude was in Russia for the longest time. Who knows who the fuck he was fighting?
Yeah, that's true.
My vote's for Green just because I feel like this Russian guy has taken a lot of punishment in his career.
Yeah,
that damage over time adds up.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, we gotta be different. We're all just the same vote, everybody. You know, let's mix it up.
All right, I call. Well, actually, even Sean and I have something different. Sean said he's gonna get knocked straight out. I said that he's gonna put him on his butt with the overhand right and then tap him out. So I guess we have a 3-way difference here.
Somewhat, yeah.
Kind of, but
seems like we're kind of reaching.
Well, surprise, the 2 hosts against a guest. I didn't see that one coming.
Welcome to our house, bitch. Right? That's why you're on that side of the
table. We've sparred you. This is our payback. I was trying to look and see what the odds were for this one. Oleinik is... Oh, actually, Green's the favorite. -140 to Oleinik's plus 110. I can see the.
That's still pretty close, though.
Yeah. That is. That's almost.
You're not winning much money on that.
No, there's not a lot of good odds on here.
Oddly enough, it looks like the main event has the best odds to bet on, and usually, the main event's the worst.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But it's probably just because of the names.
We'll get to that in a minute, but that's all because of the money coming in.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
because it draws a lot of attention
too. All right, cool, man. So we're good with that one. Let's go into the fun stuff. Let's get into the co-main event. Sean, why don't you introduce these fine ladies coming in?
Holly Holmes back to fight Raquel Pennington. They fought before a long time ago. This was like Holly's first or second fight in the UFC, but wasn't an exciting fight, but she won by decision.
Yeah, but to your point, like, Raquel's nickname's basically boring. Raquel Boring Pennington.
Well, her nickname's actually Rocky, and that's a terrible nickname.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, like, her.
Rocky's super exciting. Raquel's not so much.
Yeah. Let's look at the numbers real quick. Holly Holmes is 12-5 in MMA. Obviously, that doesn't count her kickboxing career. Raquel is 10-8. Average fight time. Basically, these ladies go the distance every time. Holly Holmes got 1-inch height advantage. 2-inch reach advantage.
Wow, Holly's striking stats are poo.
They really are. That's super surprising, but we'll talk about that here in a second because
I'm actually surprised by that.
Yeah, like those are really, well, for her, you would think those are really bad.
Yeah, let me give you the rundown of Holly Holmes real quick. So strikes landed per minute is at 2.82. Striking accuracy is actually terrible. That's 34%. I've told Sean, like, as long as I've been doing the show, that you find the more elite strikers in that 55 to close to 60%. Nobody's really, I don't think there's not many guys that hit 60%.
I can't wait to see McGregor's accuracy. I bet that's through the roof.
I actually haven't seen that. Strikes absorbed per minute for Holly's at 2.83, so she's literally taking as much as she's giving. Defense is at 57%. Now, Raquel, on the other hand, is at 3.39 strikes landed per minute. Striking accuracy is at 45%. Absorbed is 3.3. And defense is at 64%.
Defense is surprising because when I saw her fight Amanda, she used her face to block punches.
They might count that for defense.
It might have been higher, imagine.
If you put your face into it, does it count? Just got to tie her out.
This is actually...
Then she really is Rocky.
Yeah, right?
We're going to break her hand, and that's what we're going to win the fight with my face.
Actually, I want to see something real quick, though, because I would automatically, I assume that the reason Holmes is not as high is just because of the level of competition she's faced compared to Raquel.
They have some similar names in there.
They actually do. They have some really good... They both actually have some good names in here. Aldana was the last fight for Raquel. Aldana's really good.
She just had a huge win. Durandamy didn't look too bad against Nunez.
And she looked good against... she beat Holm. Nunez,
Oh,
Tate. Whereas then you have Holmes, who's fought Nunez. Megan Anderson.
Lost to Cyborg.
Yeah, lost to Cyborg.
That was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
I loved when she fought Correa and just knocked her out with that head.
Yeah, when she was taunting her and then kicked her right in the head.
Yeah, she does that stupid little dance thing. And then she lost to Durandamy. That's actually really surprising, man. I would have just assumed that Holmes' striking was through the roof.
So would I. Because when I watch her fight, she lands a lot of strikes.
Yeah.
She bounces around a lot. You think that she'd have more output than 2 strikes a minute.
Yeah, that's landed, though, too.
And she throws a lot of kicks, so you think that she'd have more strikes landed.
Yeah, that's very surprising.
But the whole point of a volume striker is that a lot of it misses, but you volume it to make a couple sneak in there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the Diaz's, like they just throw so many punches, and it's like, how do they hurt people? It's because they just keep clip, you know?
Yeah, I guess because she doesn't really like try to take damage. She tries to...
Yeah, she just tries to like overwhelm people and then look for that sneaky counter to get that heavy shot in there.
But you know, like even like the volume strikers we see, like a Diaz and Corey Sandhagen, like they have a lot landed per minute too. They're throwing a ton, and they have.
The Diaz brothers take just as much as they.
As much as they give. They're at like 5 landed per minute.
I think Holmes' problem is that she's being too much of a kickboxer, and looking for that perfect counter instead of just throwing punches. Because these MMA gloves are tiny. Like more stuff can sneak by there. She just takes too much time looking for that perfect shot instead of this.
I know, like,
going for it.
The word on her is like, because you know, like she's very loud when she throws a punch.
So and they kind of,
yeah, they kind of hear it coming.
Ha!
It's basically like duck, move, slip, slide.
Yeah,
it's like she's playing like Super Smash Bros. Ha!
I was thinking like a Family Guy skit there. That's almost what that sounded like Quagmire just yelling or something. No, I'm just saying like in general, like the noises that you're making.
But you could hear it through the TV. And it's like, well, something's coming.
Yeah.
Here comes a 1-2 kick.
Does that change your mind on how you see the outcome of this when you look at the stats?
I'm picking Holmes, but it's not because I just pick her because I like her as a fighter better. Mm-hmm. She has a better skill set. I just enjoy watching her fights. It's more of like a nostalgia / bias pick is not because I think she's a better fighter. Is going to definitely win. You made me bet money. I was like, do I have to? But I'm going to go with Holmes in this one.
I'll probably go with Holmes just because she won the first one, so I'm just going to go with her.
Yeah, she's already seen.
It'd be different if like Pennington had made a huge strides, but it doesn't seem like she's.
No, she just
kind of is what she is.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. I see Holmes winning this as well. And she needs to win. She's been on fire. I mean,
because Pennington's one of those fighters. Like she's not good at anything. She's just really well rounded. She doesn't really stand out.
Which means it's going to be a long, boring fight to watch.
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised to see this as a co-main event.
Yeah. Well, Holmes is a big name, though. So, like, there's a lot of casual fans that will... casual MMA. But anyways, a lot of casual fans out tune in.
Yeah, but I think you could even just put it like the second fight, and it wouldn't matter. Because
everybody's tuning McGregor.
Yeah, everybody's tuning for Conor. Nobody gives a shit.
Pettis is a good one, because everyone knows Pettis for the most part. But then people just care about McGregor. So everybody drinking to the McGregor fight anyway.
Dude, you could have Logan Paul fight Antonio Brown as the only other fight in the card. People would still drop money on this. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, that's don't even get me started on that YouTuber. But yeah, I think Vegas actually had this for home, but it was actually not as bad. Yeah, it was minus 140 to Pennington's plus 110. So I mean, there really wasn't that much Vegas difference here either. But it is what it is.
They're not finishers, so nobody's gonna throw money on them.
You know what? Like I just was thinking about. I think we've talked about this before as well. But it seems like when the UFC has cards that aren't necessarily a stack, kind of like this one, because they had to throw it together. They seem to always have like a hot fight to start the card, and then whatever they're kind of like toss up fights they kind of have after that, and then they have the.
Well, I think you kind of see that because like they have like they're coming right out the gate with Pettis, and then they have the girl fight that's probably gonna go the distance. And then they come back with the heavyweights, and then they go to Holly, and then you get McGregor and Cerrone.
Yeah.
So I think they're kind of like, get you in, pull you back. Get you in, pull you back.
You know what's going to be is going to be basically 2.5 hours of them talking about Conor McGregor or Cerrone,
100%.
the whole card while these fights are going on. Like, oh, I can't wait to see Conor do this. Can't wait for Cerrone to do this.
It'll be 2 hours of them talking about Conor, and then another half hour that's talking about John Jones because he's fighting next month.
Oh, is he fighting next? Who's he fighting next month?
Dominic Reyes.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Dominic Reyes has looked hot lately. Yeah. He's been tearing it up, so that'll be interesting. But all right, well, I think we all have our picks in for that one.
Right. Yeah. We're all picked the same for that one, right?
Yeah, and I think it's going to go to decision. I think you're right about that one.
I don't think we're picking much different on these fights.
No.
I'm pretty sure we're all in the same boat in the next one.
Yeah, well, this one's a fun one. Sean, go ahead. Do the intro.
Doesn't really need much of an intro. McGregor's back. He's taking on Cerrone at 170. Doesn't want to cut weight. He just wants to eat meat and fucking cash checks.
Dude, I fucking love that. That was a great way. That was a great intro for the fight. We have a ton to talk about on this one, so let me just run down the numbers real quick. Conor McGregor 21-4 to Donald Cerrone's 36-13 with 1 no contest. So yes, this is his 50th fight he's stepping into.
Everybody but his grandmother's on that fucking record. Jesus. 36-13.
These guys have a pretty close average fight time at 9 minutes. There's a huge height difference here. 5'9" to 6'1". That's a pretty big height difference, but the crazy
that's about the Nate's size. So
yeah. Well, the crazy thing is, Conor's actually got the reach advantage at 74 inches to Donald Cerrone 73. Both these guys are lightweights, but this is going to be at welterweight. Funny enough. Let's do striking real quick because this is always the fun stuff, especially for this fight. So. Significant strikes landed per minute for Conor is at 5. Striking accuracy 48%.
I'm surprised about that.
I thought he'd be over 50 for sure. I thought he would be. I'm very surprised too. Strikes absorbed per minute is at 4.43. Very surprised about that as well. But his defense is at 55%.
I don't think he gets credit for how he can take a punch. McGregor can take a punch.
Oh yeah, I'm actually surprised he takes 4 strikes a minute.
So am I. But
I'm shocked
because it felt like for a long time he wasn't taking any.
Yeah. But he is, I can almost see it because of the way his style is. Like, his stance is very straight up and down, and he keeps his hand. He's almost
he's willing to stand in the pocket.
Well, remember his fight against, oh my God, Aldo. He knocked him out with the first punch, counter punch, but he still ate a hook to land his own punch. It was just like he ate a punch to land a punch. He does that quite a bit, but he's tough. I've only seen him staggered a couple times. I think versus Nate, the first fight.
That was more of like a fatigue.
Yeah, so it's hard to tell. Is it being hurt or is it because he's tired?
Yeah, Khabib kind of rocked him, but I don't know if that was like surprise shot because he kind of bounced right back.
Yeah, he wasn't staggered for long with that at all. So
So he's not. I don't know if he's really been like
Hurt.
Yeah. Like
striking wise, yeah.
I guess I'll go. Actually, you know what? Let's just.
He does have a fucking huge head.
And we don't just mean his ego. Let's go to grappling real quick because obviously, and we'll
I always joke about that. It's like I picked the worst sport ever to get into. I have a giant head and I'm going to box and fight MMA. It's like
it's a huge target.
Yeah, it's just hit me here.
Especially at heavyweight too, where
it's like, hey, hit me here.
Good advertisement there. So real quick, I'm going to read Cerrone's grappling stats. Takedown average per 15 minutes is at 1.2. Takedown accuracy is at 36%. Takedown defense is at 73%. And just a quick note there, Connor's takedown defense is at 70%. Submission average for Donald Cerrone is at 1.3. So let's get into it. Let's start talking serious about this fight.
Yeah, man. I know we talked about it quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard just to see where Cowboy can really win this fight because it just matches up so well for Connor. Slow starter. Connor's a fast starter. Donald stands pretty straight up. He's not fast. He's accurate, but he's pretty slow.
Yeah.
And Connor's explosive in those early rounds.
Yeah, Connor's explosive power. Well, Cerrone's like he has power, but it doesn't really like it takes some time to build it up.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see that working
like an accumulation
at all.
But and even the thing that people are saying, oh well, if Cerrone gets him on the ground, like I'm not overly impressed with Cerrone's takedown game either. He's got
to time it well.
Yeah, well, that's how he gets his takedowns typically, is he's doing it in the middle of a combination.
And he drags him down.
He's great at throwing combinations. He'll throw 3, 4, 5 punch combinations, but that's
now,
how
will
he
those
usually
land
gets
versus
those.
McGregor, though? Is McGregor going to eat 3, 4, 5 punch combinations from Cerrone?
Well, he could stop Cerrone dead in his track with one
With a
shot.
counter punch. You know there's going to be at least 1 or 2 counter punches in that combination to stop
Because Cowboy kind of does like this thing, like he kind of goes like this, and then you know he's getting ready to get started. And Connor's just going to be looking to throw a left down the pipe.
Yeah.
I see Cerrone as a 2-dimensional fighter and Connor's a 3-dimensional fighter.
Yeah.
Cerrone's straight at you, straight line, coming at you. McGregor's angling, and my money is always on the guy angling.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing a different game. McGregor fights a different game.
And Cerrone's very susceptible to get finished.
Absolutely. And
head or body.
He just got knocked out 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Like I said, we were surprised that he's even fighting.
That. Yeah.
And he went through
6 months.
He went through a dogfight with Ferguson too.
Yeah, I mean, look at the last guys that he has fought, and I mean, Cerrone takes no time off between fights. It's almost, I don't even know how he doesn't.
Well, I like Cerrone.
I love
because he likes to fight. He likes to get paid. Good for him.
He's like Forrest Griffin. He'll just go in and fight everybody and anybody. But I mean, he lost to Gaethje, as you mentioned. He lost to Ferguson. Both those were kind of ugly finishes because his eye blew up after that Ferguson fight.
I think McGregor called out Gaethje too for his next fight.
Yeah, he has him and Masvidal on his.
Well, he said Masvidal has to wait. Him and Diaz need to fight again before you fight Masvidal again.
I don't see the point in the Diaz fight.
I think Diaz is retired, isn't he? Well, he'd probably come out.
Yeah, he'd come back. Yeah, he'd come back to fight Conor. And then before that, Cerrone fought Iaquinta, Hernandez, and then he fought Perry before that as well. So, I mean, dude's been through the ringer, and I'm pretty sure wasn't that Iaquinta fight last year? So he fought all 3 of those guys last year.
All 4, I think. Hernandez was January. Yeah, that was his first ESPN fight with Cejudo and Dillashaw.
Holy crap!
He had 4 fights last year, lost 2 of them, and he's fighting in January of this year.
Yep. 2 brutal fights, too.
Yeah, and he took 4 months. So he had those 3 fights within like a 8-month period.
Those first 3 fights were all by April.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is I want to mention here, too, is people are like, oh, well, Conor's going up to 170. Cerrone's a more natural 170. He lost his last 3 fights at 170. That's why he was back in 155. So
I saw a cool thing about Cerrone took his fight on 8 weeks' notice, so he didn't have really time to prepare to get the 170 on top of it. So usually, I guess he bulks up quite a bit for 170. And he won't have time to do it for this fight. So that's why McGregor kind of said, 170, because he's not really worried about him really Ubering up and getting that horse in the end.
Conor just did an interview with Ariel, and Ariel asked him, because they did it yesterday, and he said, where are you at for weight? He goes, I'm 165.
Yeah, they're putting bets on him coming in under 170.
He said he's going to, I'll step on the scale underweight. He said, it's no problem.
Yeah, because that's a nice advantage. These guys cut weight, and then they lose all that energy, whereas he's going to come in like...
Conor can make 155 still.
Yeah.
No, he's just being smart, I feel like.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want his first fight back to be drained.
I think he just realized, this is where I'm at my peak physical prime. Just fight here. Fuck it. He's just doing fun fights.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this at the top of the show too. This fight was supposed to happen last year. It got scrapped because Dana White didn't believe in having a non-title fight as a main event for a card.
Which Connor's the only one that could get away with it.
Yeah,
this card's going to blow up. I can't wait to see the numbers for this card.
It's going to do a mill.
It's going to be huge.
Easily.
It has to be. Everyone's talking about this fight.
That's why I can't wait for this fight to happen because I want to see this in the future. Like, they don't need to make up bull crap title fights to headline it.
Because I guarantee you, after that national championship game on Monday, it's going to be all McGregor and Cerrone. That's what it's all going to be.
Oh, on ESPN?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they'll talk about football a little bit, but they're going to get, because they don't get McGregor, and you don't know when he's going to come back.
No.
So,
Yeah,
But he said he wants to fight nonstop
yeah,
this year.
he's calling 2020 his season.
Yeah, like this is like the first fight of his season. This is like his warm-up fight is what he was calling it.
Yeah.
So
here's a question. Do you think he's doing it because he saw his star power slipping a little bit?
A little bit,
Because
but
he's
I think his
yeah,
things haven't really been going. Like, he's been getting in trouble outside. I think he wants to get like that edge back. I think he wants to get the man like in him. He lost to Khabib. People, they're giving him shit for that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say yes, but I think he wants the money too. He wants the fame. I think he thrives off that energy of people thinking he's the man, and plus he likes to make money. He's all about those dollars.
Yeah.
Dude,
He doesn't lie about it. He just says it. He goes, "I'm here to get paid.
Yeah.
Pay me and I fight."
And his thing too is like his other, like he makes a ton of money in his other businesses, his whiskey business, and his he has a clothing line as well. He makes a ton of money. I think he's like $1 billion. He has $1 billion net worth.
Does he really?
Yeah, he has $1 billion net worth.
No way. Seriously, I gotta look that up.
He's accumulated a ton of money.
Then he's doing well then.
But he's doing well, so he doesn't necessarily need the fight. But
I know he has a
he's
sports
smart.
management program team as well.
Does he really?
Yeah, he has like
I
his
didn't
own
know that.
training stuff online. You can purchase and have them coach you,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
but
makes
it's like real technological, like science behind it. And
Mhm. But I mean, if he's smart, he knows that all those businesses, their success is based off of his star
Oh,
power.
for
So
sure.
if his star power is slipping because he's not fighting, is that why he'll
And
go back to fighting again?
At the end of the day, he's a fighter first, and I think he realizes his
Yeah.
time's running out. He's got to get his time in.
But how old is he? He's not that old,
He's
is
like
he?
29, I think.
Yeah, he's,
Yeah.
I think he's like he's.
But it goes by quick when you're
Well,
sitting down.
those light weights, yeah, it does. They don't
Yeah.
last as long. in those
Especially for
weights.
him when he's all reactionary explosiveness.
Very
like
true.
that goes fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once that's gone, you're nothing. Once
Yeah.
you lose
Right.
that hair.
Well, especially he's a counterpuncher through and through. Like, if he loses that edge, he loses that timing just a little bit. We saw what happened to Anderson Silva.
That's
later in
exactly
his-
what I was thinking about is Silver.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. When your timing slips, when you're a counterpuncher, you have to be on your game when you're a
Oh,
counterpuncher,
for sure.
man.
You're playing like
You're playing chicken.
you're playing chicken with
That's
punches.
what it
You're playing
is.
Frogger. You're like, okay, keep it as close as possible to get that best counter in there.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So regardless, this is gonna be a fun fight. Like Donald, there's a little bit of heat behind this. Obviously, I think it's cooled down after a few years.
I think there's a lot of respect between. I think they
definitely a lot of respect. Connor's definitely a dad
Actually,
now. I feel like
Connor
we
mentioned
watched
it.
him on Instagram.
He mentioned it in his interviews. Like, I haven't seen Cowboy since like they had their first go at it at the press conference when he was going to fight Aldo. So I haven't really seen him since then. It's like, well, he's done some respect my way, so we'll do it. I'll get him paid.
right, I think Cerrone realizes that too. This is a huge payday for him.
Yeah, it might be a going out party for. I can't imagine Cerrone's fighting too much longer. This is his 50th UFC fight, and
Well, you said it,
he
but-
had 2 brutal fights.
He said that he'll fight till he doesn't want to anymore.
You told me that, right? He'll call Dan and say, "I'm done." He's
Yeah.
not going to stop until he has to stop.
Dude, I hope he does though, because I don't want to see him getting knocked out even worse.
Become Diego Sanchez,
Yeah, because
Michelle, BJ
Not,
Penn.
not to mention, like you could see the CT on
Yeah.
Diego Sanchez's face.
I think the
man,
thing
like,
about Donald is like every time you think he's done, he goes on a win streak.
Right.
yeah.
So you're like, he still got it.
Well, I don't think this fight's going to be that start of that
No,
win
no,
streak.
no.
Maybe the next one.
This wouldn't be the first 3-fight losing streak
Right.
he's had either. He had a 3-fight losing streak.
I think he's had a 4-fight losing streak.
I don't think he
Yeah.
gets cut though. Even if he loses 6, I think he
Yeah.
could be around.
Oh,
I
definitely.
just enjoy watching
Unless
him
it was
fight.
really bad to where the point
Yeah.
where like Dan is like, you got to stop. I don't. But
He has done that a few times.
Yeah, he has.
done that a few times
He has stepped
with
in.
fighters. So,
He stepped in for Chuck.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
him and Chuck were like best friends
Him
though.
and Cowboy are pretty
Are they pretty close?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
because Cowboy will fight whenever they'll call him. And,
How can you not like that? If
Yeah.
you're a business person and you need someone to cover right now, no matter what, okay, you're gonna like that guy.
Mhm.
I'm sure a lot of these fighters are like, no, I need 12 weeks. I need to do this, I need to do this, I need this. He's just
Or-
like, okay, yep,
There's a
sounds
lot
good.
of times that they have guys for backups, and then when they're called upon, like, oh, I wasn't cutting weight. It's like, but you were told to be ready for this.
Right.
Like Cowboy's like, yeah, I'll be there.
He's like, oh, I guess I can take some time off the farm for a little
I want a 6-pack of Budweiser in my locker room.
He's such a great fighter. Like,
his list of demands is super easy. I need Slim Jims, non-stop Slim Jims, Budweiser,
Monster Energy.
Like, even just a side note real quick, he's such a great, like, he seems like a great dude. Yeah, everybody loves him. He seems to get along with every fighter. Like, didn't Anderson, weren't we joking? Because Anderson Silva fist bumped him, like, in his
he hugged him. Yeah, like, when we fought Adesanya, like, he walked out, and when he got to the cage, he walked over to the crowd, and like, where's he going? And he hugged Cowboy.
Yeah. And then,
like, what the hell?
And then when they were in Australia, remember Tuivasa? He drank out of boot with him.
That was the same night.
Was that the same?
Yeah,
that's right, because he was in Australia.
Yeah, he did the shoey.
Yeah, he's doing the shoey with Tai Tuivasa as well. He knows everybody.
The crowd was going nuts.
He's the Gronk of the UFC.
Yeah.
Nobody else likes
Chael
Gronk
Sonnen had a
outside
hilarious
of New
story
England.
about that.
What's that?
Nobody likes Gronk outside of New England.
Well, I'm saying the party boy.
Oh, the party.
Yeah.
I think people like Gronk. Gronk's a likable guy.
Oh, yeah, he's just the party boy. That's
Yeah.
well. Cerrone's the
They
party
don't like
boy of
him
the
because
UFC.
he terrorizes everybody's team, but like as a person, I think people generally like Gronk.
Okay. I don't know. He always seemed like a
What's your
boy to
team?
me.
I feel like there's a little personal problem here with the Patriots.
Dolphins, yeah,
over
we're
there.
No, we're Dolphins
Oh, Dolphins,
fans.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he seems like a frat boy, but it's like funny to watch.
I guess that's true. Well, no, what's funny to watch is he was basically in a full body cast I think his last game against the Dolphins. You remember that? I forgot who it was. Broke out into a long play, and then he's like basically.
It's the Miami Miracle.
Oh, they put
Yes,
him
the
on
Miami
defense.
Miracle. Yeah, they had him on defense.
And he
like
could barely move.
Pass, and then he like dove after the runner. It was funny as shit.
Poor Gronk.
Poor Gronk. And supposedly he never even spent his NFL paychecks. He was
No,
still
he
living.
goes off of his promotion.
Everybody knows that story. He's living off his promotional paychecks
Right.
from New England. I mean, damn.
Or his sponsorship money. He lives
Yeah.
off all the sponsorship.
Duncan pays well, man.
Yeah.
I heard he did. I heard he also did. I know we're tailing off here a little bit. I heard he also did all girl football camps. Like
Really?
only chicks would be able to go.
I wouldn't be surprised. I saw him on the New Year's Eve special, though. He's on one of them. I remember switching through it.
Mm-hmm.
He's not very camera friendly.
No, he is.
No.
No, because I think I saw a
So
little bit
talk
of that
about
too.
him becoming like a movie person. I know movie and TV is different because a lot of movie stars aren't good on TV. But like seeing him on TV, it was kind of painful.
It's awkward.
It was like robot Gronk. Yeah.
You can see like he doesn't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Like Ricky Bobby. Just put your hands down. I don't know what to do with them.
All right, so going back to the fight, what's your predictions? Like, how do you see this fight ending? You got because I know that everybody's pictured. This
I think
fight.
Connor's putting
Right.
away in one.
One.
As Connor says, it'll be done in one.
Damn.
Because I think he knows. I think he knows.
Back Mystic Mac.
Yeah. Oh, why not? Because everybody knows Cowboy gets a slow start. You can finish him quick. If you
Right.
overwhelm him fast, Dos Anjos has done it. A lot of guys have done it. Hit him to the body, get him to the head quick.
Yeah.
He has a hard time coming back from like if you get to him quick.
Yeah. All right.
I don't want to copy you, but like I was thinking the same thing. I want to say like second round, but I feel like it's gonna be first round. McGregor's gonna come out firing.
I think he's
And
gonna be
it's
hyped up.
connecting. Yeah.
See, my thought about it is like because Cerrone is a slow starter. I think it's going to be when he starts throwing like ramping up those combos, like those 2-3 punch or those 3-4 punch combos. So it's going to be like midway second round. That's when he'll knock him out because he's going to start coming in. Connor's going to sidestep, hit that angle, and just hit him with the left hook.
But is Cerrone really going to wait to the second round to start ramping
I don't
it
think
up?
so.
I don't think so either. I think he's going to come in there
He's gonna start coming down throwing
throwing
leg kicks right
bombs.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's just coming straight in.
See,
They're
like,
going to
usually-
tap gloves. They're going to loft. They're going to go at it. You get knocked out.
I think Cerrone's plan right from the start is to kick the leg, try to drain.
That's
the
what I was
lead
going to say.
leg.
I see him coming in. He's going to throw jabs and then he's going to throw leg kicks.
I think you're right, though. I think the fight won't end until Cerrone initiates the pressure, but I think he's going to start that pressure right away. I don't see him. He should wait. He really should just dance around for 2 rounds and not really get at it until the third round.
There's been times that Connor just goes headhunting because if he feels like he has that advantage, he's just gonna go for it.
He did that against Diaz the first fight.
Yeah.
I'm watching a cool McGregor striking video of him and how he cuts the ring off, and he always cuts it off to the left and always tries to pin someone against the cage because he oversteps with his straight left
Mm-hmm.
and brings his foot forward, so he actually runs into the cage. But he does that so people can't really circle to his power side to cut off his power. It was an interesting video. I guess you gotta watch it to see it. But he purposely kind of corrals people in the same spot every fight before he starts unloading. Because he always unloads his left from the backside constantly towards, going towards his right side.
Mm-hmm.
It's when he unloads his left most of the time.
Hey, it's tough. He's a lefty. I mean, that's tough for a lot of guys too to adjust that, and then especially when you got a guy that's got the power in his left hand like he does. I mean,
So I can't wait to watch it. I have not been excited for a fight in a while, so this is fun.
yeah,
It's a fun one to watch.
Yeah, definitely, especially to start off the year where we don't have too many fights.
Yeah, because we weren't supposed to have this.
No, we weren't. I mean, January is supposed to be an off month. It was supposed to be a vacation.
Yeah, because I think they announced it officially over like Thanksgiving or something.
Yeah. So it was pretty quick. So it's like, hell, that's a good fight.
Yeah,
So-
you don't have to wait too long for it.
So who do you see him fighting after this? Yeah, there's a few names on the card. Everybody has them. Who's he fighting after he beats Cerrone?
I think it's Masvidal. I think he's using the media to play that game.
I gotta disagree with that. I don't think he should fight him next.
I don't think he should, but I think he will.
Yeah,
because Because what's Connor's big thing about it is what do they bring to the table? And right now, nobody's bringing to the table what Masvidal is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Even more so than Diaz. I think he's even got more hype than Diaz right now.
He beat Diaz.
Well, because it's a new fight. It's a fresh fight. You know it's going to be a great fight.
Oh, for sure.
Somebody's going to sleep in that fight.
But I feel like McGregor needs to build up more for that fight to happen. Like before he should take that fight. Like he needs to have a couple more tune-up fights, like maybe 2 or 3 fights this year, and then shoot for that Masvidal fight this time next year.
I think he wants to get Masvidal because they want Masvidal to fight Usman, and that's probably a fight that Masvidal would lose, I would imagine, for the wrestling.
Yeah,
just initial.
The size difference is just ridiculous.
So he probably wants to get him while he's
before
hot.
that.
Because it's all about business. It's all about the money.
Yeah.
He would be his biggest payday.
Masvidal has to be a champion, undefeated champion, to really count for McGregor. Because
Mm-hmm.
if he gets him after he loses to Usman, it's like he already been beat. It's like you kind of lost your window there.
Yeah. No, I agree with both of you guys. I mean, he doesn't have a good path in front of him because even if he fights Gaethje, I mean, that's not a good fight for him either because Gaethje can go 5 rounds at a heavy pace and he throws bombs for 25
minutes. You want to talk about somebody that's going to be open to counter strikes.
So that's who I would pick for his next fight. Is Gaethje.
Yeah, that'd be that's a tough
It's
fight,
just
though.
dynamite versus dynamite. It's just it sells itself, and then McGregor comes out looking like the champ if he wins, and if he gets caught, it's like, that guy's young, he's explosive, he got me.
Yeah.
So
because I don't think there's any way he's fighting Khabib next.
I don't think so either. But
Dana claims that he's getting the winner of Khabib and Tony.
What if Tony beats Khabib?
Then that actually, you know what? That might be his next fight because if Khabib wins, then he's always off for Ramadan,
right?
So he'd have to wait. So Conor would probably fight over the summer. But if Tony wins, that would probably be the summer main event.
That's true. That's a good point.
And I think McGregor would not fight Khabib again after that, though. If Khabib loses to Tony and then he beats Tony,
he would talk some mad shit.
He'd be like, you lost. You're not a champion. You're out of here. Whatever. Get lost.
I think he wants that fight back.
Personal.
Oh, he definitely wants that fight. There's tons of videos.
It's just not a good fight for him. It's not a good fight for him.
It's not good. Khabib's not a good fight for anybody.
No, he's not. But I just don't see how he wins that fight.
I actually think Ferguson would be a pretty good fight for him.
That'd be awesome. That'd be a fun fight to watch.
It'd be a fun fight, and I think it matches up pretty well with him.
Yeah, it's about damn time. These guys have been signed up. This is the 5th time they've been signed up to fight.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about Conor Ferguson, right?
You're talking about Conor Ferguson.
Yeah, Conor Ferguson.
I'm sorry. I was saying Ferguson and Khabib, they've been signed up to fight. Oh, yeah. Actually, that would be a good fight. That's one I never even really thought about just because it seems so far off.
Yeah, because he has to win, he has to lose, he has,
They kind of talked about it when Tony won the belt, but then they kind of faded. So I don't. But they'll talk some shit.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because the way I saw it, Conor wins this fight. He's either fighting Diaz, Gaethje, or Masvidal. I thought Diaz was more the long shot in that.
I don't think Diaz is really on the table right now. They're just not talking about it.
I don't think McGregor wants to fight Masvidal either. I don't think that's a good fight for him. That guy's big and explosive.
I think Dana's chipping at Conor's ego for that.
Yeah, and that's a bad fight. I think Dana wants to see McGregor get knocked the fuck out for that one. Because that's a bad fight for McGregor. He's just a big, aggressive, heavy-hitting striker.
Who can take a fucking shot.
Who can take a shot.
He might be the only guy that...
He is. That's where the weight class comes in. Make that guy come down to 155.
He might be the one guy that's better boxing than Conor. All around defense and offense.
I think he's just more explosive and bigger.
And he can last.
Yeah, I think skill-wise McGregor's better, but I think he can last longer, he's stronger, he hits harder. It's just a terrible fight.
Look what he did to Diaz.
Yeah, he made him look like a joke. Yeah, and he took it easy on Diaz because they're friends.
Yeah.
He could have finished that fight in that first round.
I think he outpaced Diaz too, which is a hell of an...
a lot of people are like, Diaz was coming back. He was going to come back. It's
no, he was
at what point did you...
Masvidal was just playing with him. He can't play with a half-dead mouse.
He could have finished him a few times.
He sat there and just grabbed his leg.
I think
wanted him to
having
get face.
fun.
Yeah, he was just, they were having fun. Which, hey, you know what? I love seeing, everybody loves seeing it. Like, they both had their swagger on full display, and they were just fucking around. But you can't tell me that Diaz was coming back in that fight. No way.
What's cool about both those guys, you want to see both of them get knocked out somehow because they both talk so much shit. But then him versus McGregor be the same thing. They both talk so much shit.
Yeah, but you know what? I gotta say, Masvidal and McGregor are so fucking good at it. Like, I've had so
That'll
many
be great to watch.
I hated McGregor, and especially after he knocked out Aldo, because Aldo's one of my all-time favorites. But man, he really sold me. I loved him, but then he just started doing all this out of the cage crap, and he started getting in trouble. I'm like, dude, come on, man! Like, it's just a gimmick. You don't have to do that.
Well, if he
shit
really is
outside
worth
the
$1
cage,
billion,
but-
I can see why he's doing it. He doesn't care.
Yeah,
He's set for life if that's the case.
How fun would that be? I just thought about that. Masvidal and Connor talking shit to each other.
Oh my god, that would be an amazing press conference.
I love
Every
ever
press
since
conference
Masvidal's been on
leading
this
up
run,
to
his
that.
shit talking.
So here's how I see it happening.
I'm not
I
even
see-
baptizing motherfuckers.
I love that.
I see McGregor versus Gaethje. I see Masvidal versus Diaz again. They're gonna finish that, and he crushes him. But then I see Masvidal versus Conor. Then I see Conor going to Khabib if he wins those fights. It's a lot of fights.
You know,
But look at it from the money perspective, though. It's like payday, payday, payday.
Yeah.
Huge payday.
and I was going to say the route that you just took too, that puts us outside of Ramadan. That puts us at the end of the year to
Yeah.
finish off the year with a big card, potentially, obviously, assuming both those fights go the way that you want them to. I mean, that actually wouldn't be too bad. Of
I mean,
course,
even if
to charge-
Prime-
even if they
Yeah.
can't get Diaz rematch, you could have Colby Covington fight Masvidal because they have bad blood now too.
Well,
Oh,
look, here's
yeah.
the kicker for that. If, let's say, Diaz beats Masvidal in the rematch, then Diaz fights Conor again.
Yeah, exactly. You have
It's win-win.
Yeah.
And then even if Conor loses fights, he can always fight Diaz again. The people still watch it.
So here's another thing I was thinking about earlier is Conor a guy that you don't even care about watching him fight for a belt? You would just rather see him get matched up against guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Like fights like this. Like
Yes
the
and
Masvidal
no.
fight.
Like, I want to see him fight for the belt, too. I feel like he's the kind of guy who needs to have belts, though, to really complete his swag. That
I
makes
think-
sense?
yeah.
I think the one thing he has is that he's never defended.
Right.
That's what he's got.
He moved up, but he moved up and then beat the next weight class as champion. So he didn't defend, but he, just took the next belt right away.
Yeah,
And that hasn't
yeah.
really been done a lot.
No.
Yeah, but you know the one thing, that was just perfect timing for him because Eddie Alvarez was on the back of end of his career.
And a
He was
perfect
on-
opponent for him, a smaller guy.
Yeah, nobody thought Alvarez was going to be RDJ. I think he caught him honestly, and he. I mean, good for him. Like, I like Eddie Alvarez a lot, but he just definitely wasn't the same fighter as he was when he was in Bellator. You know what I mean? Like when he
Right.
went on that 20, like he was 20.
He's like your
25 or something.
stereotypical Philly guy. Like he just came to fight.
Yeah, he's
Right.
he's
He
a
was,
baller. He's
like-
a fighter, but he had been through wars at that
He was
point when
rocking.
he was in the UFC. Yeah,
He was
Everybody
rocking.
has a number, man.
Yeah.
There's only so many punches you can
It's the
take.
same thing. Would GSP have come back and fought for the middleweight title if it wasn't Michael Bisping that
No.
had the champ? No,
Hell
it was
no.
the same. It was the same.
Well, that's why
thing to me.
he avoided Tyron Woodley. He never wanted to fight.
Oh
Woodley.
yeah, never
Yeah.
want to fight Tyron Woodley. Well, he did. He vacated the middleweight belt as soon as he won it because
He
he was
didn't
like, I'm
want
not
to
fighting.
fight. He didn't want to fight Yoel or Whitaker.
Yeah, he didn't want to fight those guys.
No.
It was opportunity and timing. I mean, we saw that because let's look at it realistically. Is Nate Diaz? I mean, he doesn't have like a fantastic record. He spent his whole career bouncing between 155 and 170. He's gotten into the cusp of fighting. I think has he had a title fight?
I think he did against Benson Henderson. I think it
Yeah.
was short notice though.
Yeah.
I don't think
He was
it
a
was.
fill-in.
Is that what it was?
But people
I know he's
love
come to
him.
the cusp.
And I'm surprised he's a bigger
he
draw
has.
now than his brother was.
Yeah, well, because his brother made his name for himself in other promotions
Right.
overseas.
Well,
Nate Diaz has done it here in
and more
the
importantly,
US.
Nate Diaz hasn't buried his name, while Nick Diaz has buried himself.
Yeah.
So,
And he was better than Nate too.
Oh yeah.
Nate was definitely way below Nick,
Mhm.
skill-wise.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But I think that was a lot of timing because I mean, if you look at Connor's record at lightweight, it's all right. But I mean,
Well, I mean, it's 1-1.
yeah, that's true because I guess he fought Nate Diaz at 170.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's true. So
Which he shouldn't have done either, because Nate Diaz is still a bigger opponent than McGregor is.
mhm.
Which could be the whole Cerrone thing here, too. Like, Cerrone's a big guy that could affect him.
Nate does have surprising power for as like.
It's just the
He
length,
is-
man. That
yeah.
reach just adds so much power to the
And
punch.
Well, I mean, the way
Once he starts to
talk-
weigh you down, he just starts
Yeah.
Yeah.
throwing
They don't get
bombs.
tired. Those guys run like marathons. They
Yeah.
so much cardio all day, every day.
He manhandled Pettis though. I mean, like just to see how that strength. I mean, because it's so small, you're like,
Wasn't that Pettis' first fight at 172 though?
Yeah, but I mean, even to me, Diaz is more. No, that was actually his second or third because he had
Was
knocked
it?
out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was after you knocked out
Well,
Wonderboy.
Perez didn't look like a solid 170.
No, he definitely is.
Those guys are in great shape, but he looked a little soft for 170.
He's not. Yeah, he's not.
Well, Nate Diaz
I mean,
always
that's the
looks
guy who
kind of
made-
lean.
He made featherweight
Yeah.
at one point.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah.
The same with McGregor. McGregor doesn't really look. He still looks in shape at 170, but you can tell he's not built
155
for 170.
is like
He's a
his-
155.
yeah.
If there was a 165 class, he would be good there too. Maybe.
A lot of those lightweights are 165ers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame that they haven't made a 165.
I'm surprised they haven't.
It's so stupid that they
Yeah.
haven't done that. Everybody's clamoring for it. Like
There's like a 195 one as well. And then the
Yeah.
220. Well, I guess 225 is no, because there's not enough heavyweights, period.
No, yeah.
So,
Unfortunately, they can't do that one.
No.
But 165 would be loaded. Just like 155 is loaded. 165 would be loaded. 170 is absolutely loaded.
Yeah.
Because then you get some of those guys that are like in between, like Masvidal. Masvidal will probably be the champ at 165.
Oh, definitely.
We'll be in the running for it anyway,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, because Colby and Usman would not be able to cut to
No, they're too
165.
big.
Those guys are monsters. At
No, they said
170.
Usman was like 200 pounds or something on fight night.
Ugh.
Really? That much? And
Yeah,
supposedly not using IVs to get that back?
that's
They
what
say GSP used to
something
lock
like
the
that.
cage at 190. For
Yeah, but GSP used to fight when IVs were legal.
Yeah,
Now they're no longer legal, so.
Yeah.
And GSP would be small. We were talking about this the other day. GSP would be small compared to these guys nowadays. Like
Oh,
GSP
yeah.
was the big guy at 170. Now he will be a small guy at 170.
Yeah.
Well, if that's
he'd
true,
be
then
155 or
Usman after blowing up would be just on the fight night bigger than GSP would be, like after fully rehydrated with an IV.
Yeah, GSP was like 185, 190. And he was like, whoa, he's so huge. Now he's working on 200.
It's the same thing. I mean, Colby's what, 6'3" and
6'2" or so. Yeah, they're both.
they're both, yeah.
Look at Till. Till's huge as well.
Well, he had to go up. I mean,
Well, he always said that.
was
He's like,
suffering.
I'm a light heavyweight fighting at welterweight. It's like, why are you bragging about that? Just fight small
Okay,
guys.
here's a fun one.
He made Donald Cerrone look tiny.
Yes, he did.
That's
Incredible. You want to talk about the most incredible transition?
Rumble Johnson.
Yes,
Rumble
I
Johnson,
knew
yeah.
you knew I was going to say.
I actually sparred that guy.
Yeah, that's crazy. You want to tell a
Yeah.
story about that or anything?
Yeah, I went over to the Black Zillions and had my initiation, which is basically them beating me up for an hour and a half, and went 5 rounds with Rumble Johnson, sparring with him, and
Damn.
great time.
Damn.
He was just coasting, I'm sure, and I was trying my hardest not to get beat up. I remember the 3rd round ended, and he's like, "That wasn't 5 minutes. Restart the clock." And I'm like, "Pretty sure that was 5 minutes. Like, we're good." He's like, "We're going together." Like, okay, I guess.
That was
Pretty
terrifying.
terrified.
Yeah.
Like, I survived 15 minutes and now I got to know it's 5?
Yeah,
Bullshit.
Well, yeah, so I remember finishing that, and Incognito, Gustav Incognito was a heavyweight kickboxing guy at the time who was in the UFC, just started then. And I remember going against him, and then he disappeared and then came back later with his shin pads off. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I don't kick you." I'm like, "Uh-huh." Let's just say I had to be helped out of the gym after that. My leg was black and blue.
Oh, God.
Finally finished, and I'm like, "Hey," they're like, "We go another round." I'm like, "I'm good to go. Let's do this." And mentally, I'm like, "I'm so done." But verbally, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good to go. You want to do some more?" And I'm like, "Please say
I ain't
no."
no bitch.
I'm like, "Please say no. Please say we're done." They're like, "No, we're done." I'm like, "Oh, really? We're done? Well, a shame." But I'm like, "Thank God." Thank God. Like,
Dude, what a fucking camp that was. The Black Zillion camp was insane.
That day-
That was killers.
that day, I went with Rashad Evans. I went with Anthony Johnson, Rumble Johnson, Gudo, who wasn't a big name. He was a kickboxing guy who kind of tapered off in the UFC. I think he went 0-2 or 1-3, something like that. He got taken down a lot. And then who was the 155er was there as well? I never went
They had
against him.
Michael Johnson, right?
Michael Johnson was there. Overeem was there, but he would never train with those guys. He would come in at midnight. So I was like, man, I might go against Overeem. When I come over here, I might get to train with Overeem. How cool would that be?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
they said that he would only come in at like midnight and use the facility, but bring in his own guys and only go versus those guys. So he never really was like with the Black Zillions. He just used that name. Yeah, it was just kind of like they had Overeem at Black Zillions.
That actually kind of makes sense because I don't think he was there long either.
No, he wasn't. So.
Yeah, he had a falling out actually. I think with
Henry
them.
who?
They were saying, and I think they were saying something about it was the way he trained or something like that.
It was because
So
of that. Like
was
he would train on
probably
his own, but use their name. So if someone's using your name and saying, "Yeah, I train under Will," but they're training with somebody else, like, and they're losing or they're
Yeah,
winning,
it's your
it's like,
reputation.
it's my reputation. Like, I'm sure it was cool because Overeem was this big name, but they're a legit place. They want to train you. They want to be part of your career. They don't want to just say they're part of your career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
but that's incredible, man. That's a great experience that you have.
That'd be
forever.
terrifying.
But,
For
yeah,
sure.
I couldn't imagine going in there.
Well, the worst part is, like I said, I've never been black and blue so much in my life in my leg because those bashing leg kicks from kickboxing guy was not fun at all. But I had to come back the next week and the following week and the following week, and that does not heal in a week.
No, it does not.
So I had to go there and spar again the following week, same deal again, and the following week, same deal again, and the following week. And I was driving there from Sanibel to Boca.
Oh,
so I'm driving,
Shit.
working from 6 a.m. till 3, driving there from 3:30 to 6 to whatever it was, 6 o'clock, sparring from 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock, then driving home the same day.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was, but that's the price you got to pay. It was the price of glory. That was what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then, I remember I got LASIK. I couldn't even see. That was the worst part. I had contacts, so I always take them out. So it always take me like half a round to warm up. And I'm like, this sucks. Like, I got to get my eyes fixed. I got LASIK done, but then I tore my cornea. It's just, everything happens for a reason. And you end up where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, you just never quite aligned.
It just never lined up. And then maybe I just wasn't that committed. Because if I was really committed, I wouldn't have had all those surgeries first. I would have just went over there. Who needs to see the fight, right? Like, that's not something completely necessary. It actually really helps people. So get LASIK. It's PRK you have to get, though, if you want to actually fight.
I heard because that one you don't have to, like,
they don't
shave
flap,
off.
Yeah.
They
put a lens in there, and then they let it heal. It actually heals back stronger. It's the one they give to the military people, so you can still get hit in the face. So, yeah.
Get back out there, buddy.
It really is. So,
but but at the end of the day, that's a hell of an experience that you get to have forever. So, I mean, I would like to go do that. I go get knocked out.
I have a great story from what happened one night I was there, but we'll save that for another time. But let's just say Rashad Evans was very keen to talk to me in the locker room, and I was just like, could you put some clothes on? Like, a whole different story. I was like, I just remember my coach coming out of the bathroom, and I'm like, I got to get changed before I leave, and he's like, smiling, like, I'm like, why is he so smiley? I go in there, there's nobody in there. I'm like, all right, I got a shower, because I got like a 2.5 hour drive. I come out of the shower, and there's one person in the gym waiting for me there, and it's Rashad Evans, buck naked, right by my back. I'm like, seriously? And he's just like, hey, man, good boxing. Where do you train at? I'm like,
here.
I train at Fort Myers, and I'm like, don't make eye contact. Like, oh my God, that was
a little bit of peacocking going on.
Oh, yeah. So you know who the top dog is here. I was like, got it, dude. Yep. I could not get dressed quick enough. Let's just say that.
That's too funny, man.
Yeah, it was bad.
He's like, world champ in multiple things.
Yeah, it was just like, I remember leaving there, and I go to my coach, and I'm just like, it was so black. And he's like, we'll talk about it in the car. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it.
That's the extent of what I want to talk about.
Yeah, I was like, that's it. Like, thanks for warning me, man.
How are you going to coach me around that?
Yeah, thanks for warning me. No heads up at all. It's just like,
he probably was like, you got to be ready for anything. Seems like a pretty generic response.
You didn't get the wax on, wax off no? But no, that's great. I mean, even before we got into that, though, I mean, that's some great stories. Hey, man, but when you have great stories like that, you got to tail off into that.
We always tail off.
I know, right? I know. We were supposed to do round timers and all that stuff, and I said screw it because mostly I just didn't get it all up and running. But Anthony Johnson was a guy that he was fighting at 170 at one point. The guy fights at heavyweight. He's going to be fighting at heavyweight this year.
That guy is huge.
I
remember at the time, I was like 265. He was probably like 235, and he made me look tiny. Mm-hmm. He made me like, why are you fighting a heavyweight? You should be like 185. Because he was this huge. And he was this old muscle, this solid muscle, that guy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he would blow. Even when he was cutting down to 170, they said he'd blow up to 230 between fights. And I mean, he fought at welterweight. Actually, he skipped over. He never fought at
He had one fight at middleweight. He fought Vitor. But Vitor just wrestled him.
Oh shit! I didn't even.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I didn't know that either. But I was going through fights one time, and I saw that he had fought Vitor, and I watched it, and Vitor just lying on top of him for 15 minutes. It was really boring.
Was that TRT Vitor, or was that?
I think it was just before TRT.
Just before, so that was soft Vitor.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't have that juice in him.
That's what it's like. If you were to hear like Rumble Johnson versus Vitor, you'd be like, "Holy shit!"
Right?
Like,
but isn't Rumble Johnson coming back?
Yeah,
he's not retiring, right?
He's coming back dude. Tell me he's not going to be the champ at heavyweight if he's a fraction of himself.
Yeah,
tell me he's not destined to fight Francis Ngannou.
Oh, absolutely. Those two freaking bodybuilders are definitely.
I'd be terrified.
That fight will last 60 seconds.
Rumble Johnson.
We thought the same thing about there.
It's going to last 60 seconds, but it's going to go to decision. They're just not going to do anything after the 60 seconds. They're going to be gassed for the next 14 minutes. Completely gassed. But those first 60 seconds, Gonna beat Dynamite.
Put that on the starter of the pay-per-view. That's gonna be insane when Anthony Johnson comes back this year. I think he's actually intending to come back.
I think something like that.
Man, that's gonna he's
just fun to watch. He's just exciting to watch. He comes in the fight, he throws bombs, he knocks people out stupid cold.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not even like baby night. It's like stupid knockouts.
Dude, he almost knocked out Cormier like 2 or 3 times before Cormier could take him down.
Yeah.
Hit him, and then Cormier would fall into the ground, and grab him, and then...
You said Cormier like halfway across the cage the first one.
But he kind of gave up in that fight because he knew he couldn't beat Cormier. He's like, I can't knock him out, and I'm gassed now. So he kind of gave up.
Yeah, I remember in that second fight, because Henry Hoof was in his corner saying, don't give up. Don't give up. Like, dude, that'd be like the last thing I'd want to hear. Like, does it look like I'm giving up? Is it that bad?
Because that's what he's known for. It's like, if he doesn't win, he gives up kind of deal. So...
Well, he'll do good at heavyweight because he'll by far be the most... who would be more athletic?
Plus, what heavyweights last that long anyway? Yeah. So it's like the perfect setup.
That's what I'm saying.
Those light heavyweight guys are the real freak athletes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They really... That's why John Jones is like top of the heap there because he's just a freak athlete. And he's not even the best athlete in his family, you're telling me, right?
That's what he said,
all his brothers are NFL players and he's not even the best one. So.
Yeah.
His brother Chandler is like one of the best defensive players.
Well, his high school basketball coach said he was just an all-right player. I think he wrestled, and they said he was all-right at wrestling, but he's just been able to transition his talents and skills into MMA.
Which is funny, because have you seen a better wrestler in like MMA, like to put it all together in MMA? Like he's probably the best wrestler.
Best MMA wrestler.
Yeah. That's one.
Right.
Because like Khabib's probably, not probably, he's way better. Like
I guess you can't say, because back in the day, like Matt Hughes, you had all those like pure wrestle guys. Even GSP was a great wrestler. He's not like a traditional wrestler. He's more of like a sneaky hip tossing Greco-Roman style mixed in with traditional wrestling. You know, he doesn't do a lot of double legs.
He does a lot of throws.
He does a lot of trips and throws. So more like Sambo style.
And judo,
which is basically way better for MMA anyway. Current MMA.
Yeah.
So
Khabib. Sambo. I mean, that's what.
Isn't that that's ground strikes, right? In Sambo.
Yeah. I love Khabib ever since I saw him wear that shirt. If Sambo was easy, it'd be called jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
He wore that one of the times that he was supposed to fight Tony. That's why he wore that. Because, Tony's known for his jiu-jitsu. And he was like, I'm going to tap this motherfucker. And then he wore that shirt. I was like, oh, shit, here we go.
Yeah, I remember that. That was great, man.
I think that's what really started like a personal beef between them.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu.
I like Tony. I can't wait to see that fight, too. When's that one coming up?
Wild as shit, man.
That's March, I think.
It's March? Time goes by so quick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'll definitely. Well,
I
guess we'll see.
Those two need bubble wrap.
They
put it to
this
a cardboard box.
This is the 5th time they've been signed on the line to fight, and this is going to be the first time they've fought.
They need to put him in like a glass cube and just give him a treadmill and water. Just make weight. You guys.
You know what's funny about that though is, from my personal experience, the harder you try not to get hurt, the more you get hurt.
Yeah,
like especially like in grappling. Every time I used to go grapple, I'd be like, all right, I got a fight coming up in 2 weeks. Take it easy. Don't get hurt. I would always tweak something, hurt something, because the person you go against is not taking it easy. Or you're just not like firing on all cylinders. But if you go all out, you don't get hurt as much. I know it sounds like counterproductive, but for me personally, that's how I always see it. So these guys probably do take it easy and they get hurt.
Yeah.
They should just keep going.
Or they just trip over cords.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. That's what happened to Ferguson. He tripped over a cord and tore his ACL, right?
Yeah, like completely off. Like
that's terrible.
Or whatever.
That's like a life-changing procedure right there, like on your athleticism.
I think they said he was wearing sunglasses inside.
Yeah,
I guess it serves him right.
But he's weird though. He's a weird guy. You know what I mean? Like if you ever heard him talk, you ever listen to him, like he's just a weird dude. So
yeah, he is.
Sunglasses at night, that's definitely him.
But like his fight style is him. Like it's his personality.
Oh, definitely, 100%. He's fun. Hey, he's fun as shit. I love watching the guy. I mean, he's a ton of fun.
Fun to watch. It's like Holloway. It's fun to watch. They're all unique characters.
Mm-hmm.
We should have Pettis vs. Ferguson again too.
I think Ferguson would tear up Conor. I think he'd tear him up.
It'd be interesting. Ferguson takes a lot of shots.
He can be
hurt. He hasn't been finished, but he can be hurt.
Yeah.
But he's tough, though. And
he is tough.
That's what I was going to say, is he'd last. He'd last to the 3rd, 4th round.
Well, hey, one of those times it's eventually going to catch up.
Oh, yeah.
And Conor's really good at finishing.
That'd be the one time McGregor won't mind not being the main event. It's like, I can be co-main event. 3 rounds is fine. I don't want to do 5.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Let's keep it 3, because the first 2 will be mine. The third one will be his. I win. There's 5. It's going to be 2 to 3.
Yeah. I agree with you. That would be pretty funny, actually. If he got him to sign a 3-fight.
Yeah, that's what, one time. I don't want to be the main event. That's fine.
Like,
it's cool.
Oh, man, it's cool.
You'd probably be like, "Oh, sign it up for 5. I'll put him down in 1." Fuck this guy. Fuck this weirdo.
On the double chop. That's still the best interview I've ever seen in sports.
Oh yeah, when he was I just want to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Yeah,
the
that
champ
was
does
so
the
great.
fuck he wants.
Well, that's what made him so legendary because he predicted everything. He's, I'm going to win this fight with a hook. Bam, he did it. I'm going to be a double champ. Like he called out all of his his whole career for up until the Mayweather fight. Like he predicted everything perfectly right, and everyone was like, "Whoa, this guy is the shit."
Well, I mean, even Diaz, like he said, he was tagging the shit out of Diaz up until he gassed out in the second round.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of just cardio. Just was the main factor in those fights.
Yeah, because he was clearly the better fighter. Yeah. Like he was just ripping him a new one until he gassed out. So, well, all right. Any other thoughts, feelings? I mean, I know we were on a tangent talking about other stuff before we just close up.
Distracted. It happens.
Hey man, we got some good stories.
Squirrel.
Where? All right, McGregor's the -325 to Cerrone's +250. I think this is the biggest odds we've seen for the card.
It's the one that people are throwing money on for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So would you throw money on this one?
No, because if I threw money on it, Cerrone would win.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you that jinxed?
Yeah.
I've been there a little bit too.
I'd be like, for surefire bet, boom, and I lost. It's like, God damn.
Cerrone wouldn't be a bad person to put a bet on though, because you'd have a nice.
Like if you just had money to blow away and you're just like, fuck it.
Yeah. I
win either way, right? If you want Conor to win and then you put money on Cerrone, like I win either way.
Throw down $100, you make $250 if he wins. So you more than double your money.
Yeah, but to make money on McGregor because he's -350, you gotta bet 350 to make 100. Exactly. So you don't technically break even. You actually would be exactly even if you bet on both, like 100, 350. But that's not really the point of betting.
Yeah.
It's like yes, I broke even.
You are at $0.
You root for Conor, but you bet on Cerrone. That way you can't lose.
There you go. I love it. So.
It's still MMA. Those baby gloves make anything happen.
Yeah, that's true too.
We talk all this smack and Cerrone come out and knock him out in the first 10 seconds. Like
Cerrone's going to come out with a head kick right off the bat.
Yeah.
Bam. Flatlines him.
Like, well, how did that even happen?
Well, there goes Conor's career. He's done.
What would happen to Conor McGregor if Cerrone knocked him out?
He'll be calling up Diaz. I need that rematch.
That's
my lost payday.
Yeah, that probably would be his last payday.
Well, he could do. I think he could suffer an embarrassing loss there, do one more, and lose that one, then do the Diaz fight, and still be. I think he has 3 pay-per-views in them, no matter what happens. But he won't. He has too much money to be made. So you got to remember the UFC.
I think if he gets flatlined, he's like, "Fuck this, proper whiskey, all the way."
Yeah, I don't know. But either way, it should be fun. It should be a fun main event, at least, a fun opening fight. So, Will, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. It was fun.
We're definitely going to have you back for another
for
one.
sure.
There's always usually, Sean and I always talk about, there's always usually like one loaded card per quarter. So, definitely for one of the more loaded cards, we'll have to have
That's fun to talk about.
Damn right, yeah. You come in, you get
what we do. We just bullshit.
Yeah.
Just bullshit.
It makes you more excited for the fights, honestly.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see the fights now.
Yeah.
The only one I'm rooting for is that AJ Green guy. Come on, Ben. Come on, it's my one prediction against these 2 dudes.
AJ Green can quit football and come over to him.
Yeah, Maurice.
Maurice Green, sorry. Maurice Green, there you go.
You got football on your mind.
Yeah.
Playoffs! All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning on in, and we'll catch you next time. I hope everybody enjoys the fights, enjoy the end of football season, and we'll catch you next time.